Cadillac has given us a vehicle that has been derived from the Lyriq and the Cadillac IQ, basically giving us a baby. This is the Vistiq, all electric, replacing the XT6. We're showcasing the 2026 Cadillac Vistiq Sport in silver over gray interior. This is the sweet spot for EVs because you can use Tesla Supercharge. You can get 80 miles in 10 minutes with a 305-mile range, still able to tow with plenty of interior space, and it's tech forward with a Google-based system. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm going to throw in some pros and cons while I'm going over the full specs and details of the exterior. We're going to dive into the interior to show you how much space you get, the amenities in the Sport trim, and take it for a test drive so you can see the performance, because this has up to 615 horsepower. A 0 to 60 Cadillac is claiming at 3.5 seconds with 650 pound-feet of torque. Now the con right off the bat is underneath the hood, it's not a frunk. You're gonna see the battery. So when we're talking about the XT6 that we replaced, it almost looks like they just threw the engine out and said, you know, we're gonna put a battery in here. Full LED headlights and daytime runnings. You're gonna have the signature Cadillac lights that integrate into the enlarged grille. Now on the Escalade, you would push the Cadillac badging and it would open up the front. That's not gonna be the case here because we don't have a front. The lower, because it's the Sport trim, gets the glossy black. Cadillac is claiming a 0 to 60 at 3.7 seconds. That's freaking crazy, especially considering this is under $80,000. You have two different trims to option, a luxury or the Sport trim, and all of them will get up to that 3.7 second 0 to 60. So you're just going to be losing some of the styling amenities. You can get rear axle steering at 3.5 degrees. So when you're going forward, it will turn the same direction as the front wheel, so you get a better 50-50 weight distribution. Now, when you're putting this in content, this is over 205 inches long. So it's going to be easier to drive. And then when you're reversing it, you have a 360-degree reverse camera, but with that rear axle steering, it turns the opposite direction, making it easier so you could park into a smaller parking that's designed for the size of this, because it's still a wide vehicle at 86.7 inches. 21-inch diamond cut wheels. You could get up to a 23-inch wheel. 93 mpges for the city, 78 mpges for the highway, with a 305-mile range. Charging on a level 2 will take about 11.5 hours from a 10 to 80%, and you want to kind of stay in that 10 to 80% variant because you don't need to have it all the time at 100% charge. But what I like about this is it's replacing the XT6 with a lot more styling, because you're getting the Escalade IQ in a discounted package. You're also increasing interior space from the Lyriq, but keeping the same styling code in the interior. The battery capacity is rated at 102 kilowatt with a dual motor setup, so an all-wheel drive configuration. So you're gonna have the motivation, 5,000 pounds of towing. It's literally ticking the box to everything that I would have wanted to see on the XT6, but now in an all-electric variant. Glossy black for the roof rails, and they're pushed in a little bit more so, just like the Buick Enclave. The rear gets the LED taillights, and you're gonna have that similarity to the Escalade IQ and the Lyriq blended in. Cleaning it up in the back, the windshield wipers tucked underneath. The lower gets the glossy black front and rear parking sensors, and the vehicle can literally sense every single thing that you're doing. Leading me to the only problem that I can actually pick with this is I wish that they had a hybrid or a gas variant, because I'm not sold on the EVs yet, but I like that it is made in the US and you're getting all of that performance, because that is crazy. 3.7 seconds 0 to 60. I own an MC20 and that's just under 3 seconds. That thing weighs half the weight of this. This is literally a yacht on wheels, but it's not the size of the Escalade, so it's easier to drive for a third row variant. It can be optioned as a 7-seat or a 6-seat configuration. You will pay a little extra for the 6-seat configuration, but it's still going to be under $1,000. And if you're comparing this against the Volvo EX90, that's so tech forward that it's actually tech behind, in the sense of everything being on the screen. And on the exterior, I think the styling that they do with the lights is by far superior to every vehicle out. But the Vistiq has more performance. You're going to save more dough. You're going to have more interior space, and you have the traditional stance of an Escalade and a Lyriq blended in, because they basically made a baby. Power liftgate by pushing the Cadillac badge, going into 15.2 cubic feet behind the third row. LED interior lights, you get a little storage tub here, 12-volt charger here underneath the floor, gets a ton of storage capacity. Now to split fold the rear bench, just push these buttons here, it's gonna split at a 50-50 split, increasing cargo to 43 cubic feet of storage. And for those captain seats, push the buttons, it's gonna fold them down flat, maxing cargo to 80.2 cubic feet of storage. The key fob to the Vistiq Sport. Power seat adjustment for the front, heated, ventilated massage seats, 23 speakers through AKG, and you can see them in the headrest. Also right here. All the switches are going to be on the door card for the front, memory for the driver, and this is the massage seats. 33 inches of screen is what you're getting here. This is a baby Escalade IQ, but discounted. Legroom is more than enough for the front occupants. Dual wireless charging pads with a full pass-through down here, a sleeve of storage on both sides, and Google Maps, Google Play, Google Assist, because this is a Google-based system, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio, and look how fast it is. With a digital rear view mirror, auto dimming rear view mirror, and the home link right here. LED interior lights that you just tap a light switch. Driver mode select, click onto here. You got 4 different driving modes. Tour, which is going to be the everyday. Sport, going to be a lot more performance. Snow and ice, we don't really get this in Florida. And my modes, which you can change out all of this information. So I like that you still have the performance availability with the luxury mixed in. You get your vehicle status, that gives you all the information there. Ambient lighting, you can configure everything in the interior, and there's a ton of different lighting structures. Slide this over, Wi-Fi hotspot, it's 5G capabilities. Put it into reverse, and we get a 360-degree reverse camera. The trajectory does expand, and you have a lot of different camera layouts here, so you can change the whole design layout. And there's one hidden button right here. This is for the glove box. And the only con that I have in the interior of this is it does have a lot of exposed plastics that I'm not liking too much. I like that they put this aluminum through here, but you can tell where the plastic is, and it just wraps around the dashboard. Going into the gauge cluster, this side here, it's a touch panel. This is the touring. This is the sport gauge. Now we're going to change it to energy. You can put the full maps. Only thing I don't like about this is I feel like when you go into Genesis, they kind of clean this up a little bit more so, because this will actually go all the way over. You don't have this. But this whole display is a actual screen, so I do appreciate that. You have the assist and you have the clean. I probably would leave it on the gauges, and I would probably put it on the sport. The steering wheel, you get the Super Cruise for 3 years, multi-function, regenerative braking paddle shift. Soft to touch, it's heated. The gear lever is on the steering column, so it frees up a ton of space here. And then you have your separate intelligent 5 climate control, and you can do everything through here for the first, second, third row. When you click here, you have for the front. So the heated seats, you have either the top and bottom, or you could just do the back. For the ventilated seats, it's gonna only do that way. The massage seats, you have a ton of different ways you can do this. And you have a 3-stage on all of them. But unfortunately, it doesn't do this butt area here. You can do the same thing for the passenger side here. And now they have this, which is kind of a little twist. You have different seat movements. You'll just move this over like that. So you have to actually hold your finger. But these are the same seat adjustments that's on the door card. Kind of an overkill. You have the memory here, which yet again, you have memory here. So you don't need that. But these adjustments here, which is another 10 adjustments, will change the configuration of the seats, basically giving you around 20 seat adjustments, which the cushion extensions, that's all we get for the cushion extensions. But the cushion extension, it doesn't really extend out. It just kind of stays here, so you don't really get much movement there. And it has the haptic feel. You get the Cadillac script. To turn on and off the vehicle, you would just push this, the rotary knob for the infotainment screen, and you have your quick wedges right here. This is going to be a little bit more sporty. It opens up into a deep storage pocket. with a USB port there. And check out the legroom with those sport pedals and the headroom. Cadillac does an excellent job carving it out with a large panel moonroof that goes into the second row. Door panel and dashboard configured together nicely with the real wood, ambient lighting, 126 colors found throughout, and you have the aluminum that's going to pretty much surround the whole cabin. And I mean, look, speakers literally every freaking where. Open the car right here, one touch up and down for all the windows, a long storage pocket and a beverage holder carved out. And because I'm a family guy, I'm always looking at optimal space because I have tall people in my family. Me and my son are pretty tall. My daughter's actually getting really tall. So they really carve out a ton of space, a lot of nooks through the interior, areas that you could put junk food because you need something that's practical for a family vehicle, but you want something more elegant and luxurious. For the back seats, we have the captain seat configuration, which is a little bit under $1,000 upgrade. I would recommend doing it myself. The door card's gonna be the same, so soft materials pretty much everywhere. You have the aluminum, the real wood with the ambient lighting, and look, almost basically the same size storage pocket. The kick plates illuminate. Sitting behind me, the seats are carved out for you. You have storage, and these seats adjust forward, where I wouldn't be able to fit, but you would get a lot more leg room for the third row. And you can move it all the way back, which I still have a substantial amount of space. And you have your own 8-inch touchpad in the back for the second and third row. So when you're thinking Escalade IQ, you can get this and save at least $20,000 to $40,000. You can change the ambient lighting and you can customize this however you want for the first, second row. Air vents, home plug, USB-C ports. Open this up, you got cup holders and an area there for some M&Ms. It's kind of my favorite thing. I like the peanut ones. AKG comes into the back and headroom is more than enough with a full pass-through that you can go straight here into the back. Push the button here. Maybe not. Push the button here and it's going to adjust forward for you. I just wish that the XT6 was still around personally. There is some talks about it coming back, but nothing solid. Coming into the back, you got an area here for a larger smartphone and it's soft material. So I appreciate that with the cup holders, air vents. You got the LED interior lights and that moonroof in the back. Legroom is more than generous for adults and you can fit two back here, and the same thing with headroom. But the problem that I have is there isn't any actual command center for the fifth climate control. You have to go here. 615 horsepower, you heard me correct. And there's this little V button you push on the steering wheel. It's gonna give us that 3.7 second 0 to 60 with 650 pound-feet of torque. That is a lot of motivation. Up to 23-inch wheels. You can get rear axle steering at a 3.5 degree. You can get Brembo brakes. It's wet. Let's see what we can get. A damn speeding ticket. That's what you're gonna get. So quiet in the cabin. Everything is sealed up. I wish we had the XT6. It's gonna lead me into some pros and cons. We're gonna start off with the pros. It is tech forward. You get Google Base. You get dual wireless charging pads, 7 USB-C ports, cup holders, you have a ton of them. Leg space, oh my God. Somebody that's 7 foot tall can literally fit in the third row. Cargo capacity is more than enough. Towing capacity is ticked. I don't even know how many damn bottle holders we have because there's storage everywhere. Even in the front, you not only get a pass-through, but you get a sleeve of storage. So they just open it up a lot more so. I mean, like I was saying on the exterior, it's an Escalade IQ and a Lyriq. They just basically had a baby and said, you know what, we're gonna price it right in the or under 80 grand pricing and give you a full EV with 305 mile range. Now some cons, the range, unfortunately, I wish it was more at the 400. Charging time is nothing phenomenal because on a level 2, it's still over 11 hours. DC quick charge is good though. I mean, you're getting 80 miles in 10 minutes. But you also have to find that quick charge to get that because in some areas you may not find that. You could use Tesla Supercharge. That is awesome. The interior, it is so quiet, very luxurious. You get the exhaust note for the battery that filters in through the speakers. I actually am a fan of that because when I'm going full EV, I still want the essence of a gas variant in the cabin, and you still kind of get that. Visibility is more than enough. You got over 7 inches of clearance. The steering doesn't have a lot of feedback, so when you are going fast and maybe you go over a pothole and it's really wet, maybe it's icy, you live up north, you may not feel some of the slippage because of how smooth the ride is. But back to some cons, the touch to feel could be a little bit more premium. On the top of the door card, the top of the dash, a lot of plastic is still exposed, and at an 80 grand price, I'm trying to not see that as much. I really want a lot more elegant materials inside. They do a good job with giving us real wood and like a carbon fiber styling when you go or upgrade different features in the car, and you have kind of a brush aluminum. You get it also on the door for the speakers. And I mean, 23 speakers through AKG. These are all things that do cover some of that, but it's still exposed. And because there's screens everywhere, a lot of people were happy about the tech forward movement. I kind of wish we had some buttons. You got a lot of buttons on the steering wheel. This could be a little bit more cleaned up for a more minimalistic look. And the sensitivity for the touchscreen, I've had it where I have to actually mash my finger a few times on it to go into different driving modes or change different settings in the infotainment screen or even on the gauge layout. Super Cruise Control, you get that for 3 years, so I appreciate that. OnStar, they even go an extra step. You get 8 years of that. Braking on the vehicle, we're not gonna go too crazy because it's wet. You can stop on a dime with this thing, so you don't need to have upgraded brakes. It does the job for your day in and day out. Turn radius at a stop point. Now remember, over 205 inches long. Look at this, 2 lanes. Look, oh man, just plants you in your seat. Anytime you wanna rock and roll, just push the throttle to something like this. Oof. The regenerative braking, you can actually hold it or you could push it and it will basically do like a 1 pedal. And the other con is the 10 main seat adjustment is in the lower screen for your cushion extensions, the bolstering on the side, which can be a little bit difficult because you actually have to hold your finger on there in order to get the movement to move. You can't just push it like you would on the door card to change the seat setting. It could be a little bit more cleaned up and easy to use. For a long journey, it's still comfortable because the seat cushion is ultra thick and you have a lot of room so you could rest your legs on the sidewall, but my knees do kind of sit up in the air a little bit. The massage seat is great, but then the con there, it doesn't have anything for the butt area. I like that you could put the heated seat just on the back or the back and butt, but they don't offer the same for the ventilated seat. You can only do it for the whole body. So there's a few things that they could touch up, and I know it sounds like I'm nitpicking, but when you're paying around 80 grand, you're not nitpicking. You're actually buying something that's pretty expensive. So you want to be able to tailor it to what you can do for every day, plus use it for family use. Now going against competition, by far this is a lot easier than the technology in the Volvo. I think they just go way over the top. I actually like the Volvo a little bit better, but I like the performance, the luxury, and the technology better here. So I would actually not go to the Volvo. I would go on this route. As for Tesla, Rivian, and Lucid, they're going to have a little bit better in charging. They're gonna get it quicker too. They're gonna have better range. The technology is a little bit more blah. Here it's a little bit more in your face. So I like that you're getting that wow factor because yet again, this is a baby Escalade IQ mixed with the Lyriq, giving us the sweet spot EV. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check this next video out right here. And I'd like to thank our friends here at Cadillac Lakeland. Push this little button here and it's gonna show up on your gauge cluster. Now you can get that 3.7 seconds 0 to 60. It also gets that electric sound that comes in.